Hello, my name is Melissa Glorioso, and I will be presenting my informative speech on my exciting trip that I recently took to Germany. If you've ever tried to plan a trip before, you can appreciate the endless amounts of guidebooks that will mount up on your kitchen table, or the internet search tabs that are all open on your computer, or the endless TripAdvisor reviews that will confuse you very quickly. However, a personal recommendation about a very specific place can save you lots of trouble, and this speech will do just that. Today, I'd like to share about a Godesberg cruise on the Rhine River in Bingen, Germany, a rural area that has a very rich history. I will be discussing the amazing vessel, the interesting passengers, and the incredible scenery. Upon arriving in Bingen, I noticed the crowd that had gathered at the huge dock. I knew from Barry Tomlin's book about Cultural Smart, the essential guide to customs and cultures, that the Rhine River was a favorite spot for both Germans and tourists, and we noticed right away that the German customs of kindness and warmth extended even to waiting in a busy line. All the young people and the old people were pointing up the river where we could see the fantastic ferry joining us, running toward us. It was so exciting. It did not matter that we could not understand the words because we recognized their excitement and awe. The boat was quite large with two decks. The top level was open air, and we could tell that right away that's where we wanted to be. We could see people sitting up there, and we wanted to be there too. As soon as we were allowed to enter, we clambered up the stairs to the top deck, totally bypassing the enclosed dining car, which was really beautiful and sparklingly clean. The yummy smells of the buffet wafted up the stairs as we raced up. The top deck was expertly filled with designer tables and chairs, all strategically facing outward. The bar area, lined with German wines and beers, looked gorgeous with a carved wood display interesting wine glasses hanging from the top. After I had just a minute to take in my surroundings, I immediately noticed the interesting people who were scattered about. The people seemed like they were from all different nationalities and stations of life, and they were sitting around the tables enjoying each other. In one loud corner, we noticed some young parents who'd stationed themselves near the small play area where the slide was, and the children raced up and down that slide. Two young women leaned over the rail, and they had big floppy hats on, and they were speaking in rapid Chinese and trying to pose for a selfie. An older couple was all dressed in white with diamond rings and dark glasses and low, sleek hats, and they were nestled together at the smaller table, sharing secrets. And on the other side, loud Americans had spilled a drink and they were screaming for someone to help them clear it up. Other people were just like our party, just quietly in awe of the surroundings and happy to be together. It was interesting that even though all the passengers looked so different on the outside, we were all completely smitten once the boat started to move down the river. On either side of the boat, the scenery was absolutely breathtaking, enough to make the children stop playing for a minute and the older couples even rise from their chairs a little bit. The snapping of pictures even stopped for a second. It was magical. The edges of the river banked quite high on either side, and often a terraced vineyard could be seen. Workers drove tiny little vehicles, they looked tiny to us, up and down those steep hills with great care. It was obvious that this ancient tradition plays a large part in the country's industry, which we had learned about in an article by Slonokis and Toffel. It was called Environmental Sustainability and Tourism: The Importance of Organic Wine Production for Wine Tourism in Germany. There were vineyards everywhere in Germany, but these were among the most impressive. Now and then, a tiny village cropped up along the river's edge with buildings so old that they just took our breath away. Churches with tall steeples occasionally popped up. You see one in the foreground and one back up on the hill. And most heart-stoppingly of all, though, and what we've really come to see, were the castles. They all looked ancient, but none of them were the same. Some were high on top of the hills, like this one. Some had long walls that were surrounding them with multiple towers, and we wondered how on earth anyone was able to travel up the mountain to reach them now, let alone hundreds of years ago. This one appeared to be built right into the side of the mountain. and it seemed to be surrounded by a tiny village. We wondered if we could see a church and a grocery store, but we wondered if maybe there had been a few little houses up there that we just couldn't quite see. This one was very impressive. Its large side was expansive and completely surrounded by a solid wall. I could imagine guards lined up between the turrets, keeping an eye on the river. We were surprised when our vessel pulled right alongside this interesting castle that was settled right along the river. Here it is. You've seen such a smattering of castles today, but these were incredible structures, and there were so many more. They were all impressive for one reason or another. So, the next time you're planning a vacation and are looking for an extraordinary way to see the German countryside, consider a cruise along the beautiful Rhine River. Not only is it an outstanding vessel, but you will travel with fascinating companions and enjoy the unforgettable views together. Thank you.